What's up, guys? Josh Sykes with Ben Rod's Guide Service out here on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake. It is early May, and early May means one thing out here on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn, and that is the shad spawn. The shad spawn is one of my favorite times of the year to fish. You can get right in a hurry and catch a bunch of them. And so when I'm fishing the shad spawn, I've got 3 baits tied on every single day, and there is something specific that I'm looking for. I'm not just randomly going out and looking for a shad spawn that I'm keying in out here on these lakes. And so today I'm going to share with you those quick things. And so first thing, when I pull up to a spot, I'm going to pick up a bone colored yellow magic. This bone yellow magic catches lots of fish and big fish. I've caught more 4, 5, 6, 7 pound fish than I can count on this exact lure. But the reason I picked this bait up is because I can throw it absolutely anywhere the shad are spawning. If they're on open water points, clay points, or rock, I can throw this and I can walk it and cover a lot of water, much like a spook. If they're on the bases of trees and around grass, I can throw it and pop it and let it sit in place and catch those same fish eating those shad that are up there spawning. And so bone colored yellow magic, my absolute go-to bait for a shad spawn. But there are times that the shad are spawning way back up in the bushes or underneath trees I can't get that yellow magic to. And when that's the case, I'm picking up a 6 Sense Divine swim jig. Any good shad color would work. I typically like something with a little purple and chartreuse in it. Just stands out a little bit better from all the other shad, and it absolutely gets bit. The good thing with this swim jig is if you look at the head, it's got a flat bottom to the head, which helps that swim jig really skip well. It's not round, and I can skip this bait way back behind the bushes if the shad are up there, like right now with the high water and so much water back behind the bushes. And then thirdly, if they're out in open water on open flats, that's when I'm going to a jerkbait. I typically like a translucent colored jerkbait, and with the way I'm working this jerkbait is a lot different than a way that I'd work this jerkbait in, let's say January, February. I'm not pulling it and letting it sit. I am working this jerkbait erratically and super fast through those shad. You got to think, there may be 10,000 shad on a point spawning. What are the odds they're going to eat my jerkbait? Well, if I'm working this erratically and it stands out, they can key in on it and eat it. And I've had a lot of days I'll catch 30, 40, 50 fish in the first hour on this jerkbait. And so that's the 3 baits I'm picking up. But there is something specific that I'm looking for. Just out here knowing these lakes, I typically know the further north I go, the more wood related the shad are going to be. So I'm looking for cypress trees, I'm looking for stumps, and I'm looking for bushes, and I'm looking for them on points that are adjacent to deep water. If I've got a good creek swinging up next to a point and there's cypress trees on it, that's the ones I'm going to go look at. But it's not automatic. It doesn't mean they're automatically going to be there every day. So I'm covering a ton of water until I find them. I'm not killing my motor until I see shad flickering at the bases of those trees. Don't just stop and fish trees that you see. Fish trees that you see shad spawning on. That's the key this time of year. And if I'm on the south end of both lakes, Toledo and Rayburn both, where the grass is a lot heavier, I typically like to find alligator grass. The shad love floating grass this time of year. Hydrilla and coontail is a lot of fun to fish, this time of year when the sun comes up. But those shad really like that alligator grass. And so I'm going to get around it, and I'm looking for patches of it that I see those shad rolling in and flickering on top of the water. It almost looks like ripple on the water. It's so many shad in those areas whenever they're spawning in them. And so if I'm seeing that, that's when I'm stopping and I'm casting on. And then lastly, just open water points on the main lake with good hard bottom, whether it be road beds, whether it be clay points, whether it be shell beds, but anything that comes up to less than 6 foot of water out on the open water lakes. And man, if it's got good hard bottom on it, I'm going to scan my live scope across it. If I see shad on top of it, I know there's going to be bass in them as well. That's when I'm going to opt for that jerkbait and cover a ton of water. If they're coming up, blowing up on them on top, that's when I pick up that yellow magic. But this is what I'm looking for the shad spawn this time of year. It's a lot of fun. If you've never gone on a good shad spawn bite, man, early May is the best time of year to do it. Toledo and Rayburn both are a little bit high right now. A lot of water on both lakes. So the fish are shallow, and the fish are absolutely chomping up there on the shad for that first hour of daylight. And so get out there early, find where the shad are spawning, and go catch them on one of these 3 baits. So if you got any questions or comments, drop them in the comments section. We would love to hear from you. And if you got anything else you need from us, please let us know. We'd love to help you out. Thanks, guys.